What's going on, guys? Today I got a little trade recap for you, and I also just want to go over a couple trades because I think it's a good example of how I do trade and what I've been adding into my trading strategy. But I did only take this trade. I marked this one out right here. Didn't actually take it. I did mark it though and watched it play out. And then I didn't take this one either. I marked that one and watched it play out. And then this one I did take and ended up getting break even on it. But kind of going into this first trade, I know I did say in the last video I don't really trade New York Yam session, but today I was watching the chart and I just couldn't resist this one. It wasn't like my A plus setup, but I would definitely consider this like maybe a B plus setup. But anyways, I've been noticing the market likes to rebalance ranges, and when we do rebalance like these higher ranges, like this fib right here, this range, sorry, is 246 points. Like, we're going to want to come rebalance it, and we're most likely going to get a reaction off of it. So I had this marked out, and then I just have my line here. And then I also have been liking just adding a little rectangle box inside of these numbers and then getting the CE, because I feel like if we're not getting a reaction off the 0.75 or 0.05, we're most likely going to come up and hit CE and then get a reaction. And then kind of the 0.786 is like the last hope if we get a reaction. I won't really trade off of it unless it has everything I want to see, but CE and 0.705 are kind of like the sweet spots for me. But anyways, getting into this trade, we come back over here to New York Open. All right, coming to New York Open, we had this chop in pre-market, and then we open up and we just immediately rip down. I did have this fib level drawn out, just trying to see kind of like what would happen. We did get a reaction off the 0.5, but I'm not really looking to enter off of, let's see, 2 minutes into market open, just because it is so volatile. That's why I did wait a minute and see what we wanted to do. But anyways, all I was waiting for was coming up to hit our level. If not, cool, I'm not going to take a trade. But we ended up hitting our level with this yellow candle right here, which is just aggressive sellers. Definitely not the strongest. It's kind of the in between, but they are strong sellers here trying to push us up. And we are outside of value. So this like blue is just developing value. We're outside of it. And at this point, we're using standard deviation 2 as resistance, and then just value area high as support. So it is that until proven otherwise, just based off of how I trade and how I see the market. So all I was really looking for was my levels to get hit. The fib golden pocket gets hit, the OTE, the range gets hit, CE of those two lines, the 0.705 and the 0.786, the CE did get hit of those. And then this is kind of where I entered the trade. We got a flip in delta as soon as we hit that CE. And then I didn't wait for the candle closure, it just happened to be the candle closures when I took the trade. And I ended up just putting my stop at the high, or not the high, the 0.786, because if we go up here, I'm still looking for a reaction to go lower, but if we normally go up here, we're just going to go higher. I did end up taking this trade just with one mini, but my live account didn't actually take the trade. I don't know what happened, so we didn't end up taking it, unfortunately. It just didn't process or something. I don't know what happened, but it completely just flushed all the way down to my TP. I looking at the trade in hindsight, I should have just held till VWAP, because if we're gonna be bearish, or if we're gonna push into value, the only thing stopping us from getting to value area low of the developing profile is VWAP. So I could have just gone break even at VWAP and held down here, or I could have just taken TP right here if I'm trading with micros, I will just take a couple off and then go break even and see, just leave a couple runners down to the value area low and then close the trade. But with this trade, I didn't like, at the time, I didn't like how we were reacting off value area high. So I kind of just waited for one little push through, and then we ended up pushing. I just closed the trade. Definitely a little scared on my part, I guess, on that trade. Should have had more conviction that we were going to VWAP, because if we're going to reject right up here and lose buying pressure, pretty much just get absorbed with one flip in delta and sell us lower, like, we're probably going to VWAP at least. But anyways, took that trade. Overall, it was a decent trade, probably B plus rating, just a little 1 to 2.6 R. But I did kind of want to go over this trade really fast, and then this trade really fast with you guys. So like I was saying at the beginning, I've been noticing the market, it does like to stay in balance. And when we're imbalanced, the market typically rebalances and then has the full move where it wants to go. And then I honestly, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade just because it was so close to developing VWAP. Typically when we get to VWAP, we start chopping around, or we'll just push straight through. But with this trade, I had this fib marked out because this was an unbalanced level just on the low time frame right here. You can see right here, if you put it here and then we go to here, the golden pocket does get hit, the OTE of the range gets hit, so this is balanced. So all I do is move up my TP or my fib high and my low right here, and then just wait for a reaction off of it. With this trade, you definitely could have taken it. You could have limit ordered it, honestly. It was only 15 points right here, or 17 points, sorry, excuse me. And you could have limited in the middle, because we did get a great reaction right here, like strong sellers into value. And then we have strong sellers, and then as soon as we hit our 0.705, which is just OTE of the fib, and then 0.786, like I said, was the last chance for these, you could have just taken the trade on the flip and delta. Very aggressive buyers right here telling me we don't want to go lower, but we did have that very aggressive flip and delta, and you could have just held to value area high if you wanted to. I can't remember. There's definitely a reason I had my TP right there when I was watching it, but in hindsight, you could honestly held to this fib level because you know you're gonna get a small reaction off of it. Honestly, I think that's where I had that when I was marking it, and then I probably in my head was just going break even once we hit value area high. But other than that, I think that's a very good overall trade. We had this unbalanced area, you know, we got a reaction off of it. Yeah, market open just at the 0.5. I'm not looking to take trades off of that. You can if you want. I personally don't, and you can TP at the 0 because most of the time when we hit the 0.5 of the fib and get a reaction like this, very strong wicks, we're just at least going to go up to the 0. That's just kind of a given how I've been looking at the market. But overall, very solid trade. Didn't end up taking it. I did watch it play out and I did mark it. Very good trade. Besides, it was at the POC of the developing value. So I probably wouldn't have taken it. If I did, I probably would have taken it with very light size. Coming to this trade though, this trade pretty much has everything I'd want to see out of a trade. Let's delete this and I'll explain a little bit. So this trade right here pretty much has everything I'd want to see. Let's delete these standard deviations because they don't really matter. But yeah, I honestly, watching it play out, I just had those standard deviations marked. That's why they were there. I guess we can leave them there in a second, but let me kind of explain. So right here, we're up, right? You draw a fib from this low to this high. I mean, we're not too balanced, but I mean, in hindsight, I would consider this balanced. So what I'd do is I'd move this up right here. And then we come up, come down, balance the range, you know. We don't need a reaction to balance the range. We just, most of the time we do balance the ranges. So it's pretty balanced over here. Throughout this, all this moves, they kind of come up and down and balance each other out. Right here, it was all balanced. So when we do balance a range, I do move my fibs. But right here, we are at the extreme of value. What is going on? I think this should be over here. There we go. And this should be just a little wider. About there. Perfect. Okay, so coming back into this trade, sorry about that. We're at the extreme of value. You know, we did traverse value from standard deviation -2 all the way up to standard deviation 1. And this tells me we're very bullish. We don't have any support quite yet, but we do have resistance here. So all I was looking for was, oh no, this was the trade over here. And my stop was at the high. Yeah, so all I was looking for was we come up, give us a low so I can draw my fib out, right? Boom, boom. And then I just was looking for a rebalance of this level and a flip in delta. We came back in, we hit the POC, and if I'm not using these fibs and my OTE levels, then I'm literally just looking for this. I'm looking for us to hit the extreme, come back into value, hit the POC, come up into value area high, and then just a flip in delta. So I still would have taken this trade if I still would have taken this trade, just my entry would have looked something like this instead. But this is kind of what I want to go over, using my OTE levels I've been using lately, kind of incorporating into my trading style. But with this trade, come up, hit the POC, sweet, we get our move up. At this point, I'm drawing my fib out from this high to this low, and just waiting for us to retrace up into the OTE, the range, and then we get exactly that. You know, we hit OTE, very strong wicks right here with rejection. You could have limited it if you wanted to, because all day we've just been rebalancing, imbalance, rebalance, imbalance, rebalance, imbalance, you know. So it's most likely going to play out, and we are at the extreme of value. Come back in and then test our value area high. Like, that is literally just all I'm looking for. That's my bread and butter right there. Take the trade, boom, take it all the way down. You could have taken it down to the 0.5 if you wanted to. Trade would have played out. It would have been to the tick. And it would have been a really good trade, because this is an unbalanced area. This is not balanced. So the market will seek this eventually. The only reason we didn't come down and seek this value is because there's a bigger OTE playing out somewhere. So it's just finishing a move, and then I'm sure we're going to get a pullback down somewhere into here. But overall, this trade is very good. It's like exactly what I'm looking for, and especially adding OTE into my trading and standard deviation a little bit more. It's a beautiful trade. Couldn't ask for anything more out of a trade. Yeah, it's kind of all I got for you guys. Overall, pretty solid day trading. It's pretty unfortunate this didn't get taken on my live. I don't know what happened there, so just gotta watch it play out and smack TP and go even lower to, yeah. But other than that, I got nothing for you guys. Hope you guys have a good night. Hope you have a good day. Remember, don't be greedy. Take what you get. Look for your setups, and if your setups aren't there, don't take it. If your setup is there, take it. Doesn't matter if it wins, doesn't matter if it loses. It's your setup. Have trust in it fully, and it's going to play out or it's not. At the end of the day, you don't have control of each trade. But hopefully these videos help you guys. They definitely help me. I kind of keep them as just like a journal for myself, because I like looking back. I like seeing my thought process. I do have a journal that I take all my trades in and leave everything in there with pictures and examples and everything. But it's just kind of better to hear it for myself when I'm talking to myself. So I do recommend, you don't have to post the videos. I never liked posting videos either, but this has helped me tremendously. Just posting them, keep them kind of as a journal, and if people look at them, cool. If not, it's cool too. I'm just here to help me, help others. But yeah, guys, I don't have like a link I can put in my comments, but I do have a Discord. You'll just have to copy and paste it. Feel free to copy it, go join it. It's free. It has all my content. I do post trades in there almost every single day. If people have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. But other than that, I got nothing for you guys. Have a good night.